Hey, everybody. I'm here to rank all the Black Mirror episodes. I'm going to go from bottom to top. Um, I'm going to tell you where they ranked on IMDb, like the fan ratings. And I didn't match them. Out of the 27 episodes, I got to mention I did not include Bandersnatch in this because Bandersnatch, I feel like, is a hard one to evaluate because you choose your own adventure. Worth checking out. Absolutely do it. But hard to, rank because I don't even know if I found like the right ending. I don't know if there is a right ending. I probably need to go play Bandersnatch after this. Anywho, I'm going to rank from 27 to 1. I'm going to rank all of the Black Mirror episodes. My furthest from IMDb was 15 rankings away, which is kind of a lot when you're talking about 27 episodes. There's not a ton here. I know there's a few of these videos out there. Or you could go on IMDb, but I'm going to give you, and I'm going to try to not spoil episodes for you while I do this, but I'll probably spoil little bits and pieces. So do what you will with it. All right. I did, out of the 27, 5 of my rankings, I think, did match. I actually wrote that down, and then I think I switched up my rankings. I'll say this too: one of the my ranking like tiebreaker when I was ranking the episodes was like, if I wanted to watch one of them again, which one would I? So that went out. I watched season 6, so I've only watched all of those episodes one time. Then I went back and watched from 1 to 5 for only the second time. One episode I actually watched for a third time because it's that good. Might be on top of my list. I don't know. It is. But hey, let's dive in. Episode 27 on the list. That's Mazey Day. Yes, this is season 6, episode 4, second to last episode in season 6. It is also last on IMDb with a 20 ranked 27th with a 5.3. So Mazey Day, I'll just read you my notes real quick. I just said bad episode. Didn't feel like it picked the lane. This wasn't science fiction. It was just kind of just weird. And yeah, I think you can see from what you're seeing on screen as to I probably just spoiled it. But anywho, that's my lowest ranked episode. I don't think it's great. Them's just the facts, Jack. So I don't even know what that means. But them's is the facts. It's really not it's not science fiction. It's more of just weird fantasy horror. I don't know. All right, moving on to number 26 on the list, and I'm going with this one here, Crocodile. This was season 4, episode 3. Now on IMDb, it's got a 7.3 rating, which is not terrible, and it is ranked 21st. My notes on this one are pretty simple. I said maybe I was distracted both times, but this was the most boring episode in my eye. It had a weird twist ending, a dark ending. The main thing that pulled me in the second rewatch of this was noticing the recurring song throughout Black Mirror that it's, I think, in 6 or 7 episodes. You can find that by yourself, or you can just Google it. But not a great. I really just didn't find the episode good. Maybe I'm wrong about all of these. Number 25. This one, I don't know. It's probably controversial, but actually, it looks like I'm forgetting here that I have the IMDb rankings. It actually matches the IMDb ranking exactly, so maybe not controversial. My number 25 episode is Metalhead. Now, Metalhead has what I would suggest. I would suggest maybe Metalhead, the dogs in it are the most iconic thing. They come out of Black Mirror almost. I don't even know if you show them in this video, but anywho, um, it's a scary concept. And what did I say about Metalhead? This might be the only one, the dragged on too long argument. I think that critique might fit this episode. It dragged on. The dogs are iconic, but just and this was season 4, episode 5. Season 4, I think, was probably where things took maybe a negative turn. And I don't want to say that as one of these, loser cynics who says that about everything. But I have it number 25. All right. Number 24 on the list, which is 23 in IMDb's rankings with a 6.8 rating, is Demon 79. This is the last episode, episode 5 of season 6. This one, honestly, like, I can't say it was terrible. But I do think I draw a line actually from the bottom 3 to the next ones, and some people are going to hate it because I have an episode that everyone hates coming up soon. But I don't think this episode was horrible. I do like the ambiguity at the end, deciding how much of this episode takes place in Nina's head. The problem is, it's just not a great episode. And also, by the way, that whole sci-fi thing I mentioned earlier, definitely some problems with that, because it's not really at all science fiction. And I'm going to get hated on this because every place I see ranks this as the worst episode, or like the second to worst episode, but I have it all the way up at number 23. It's Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2. This is ranked 26th on IMDb with a 6.1 rating. As you can see from my screen, this one starred Miley Cyrus. And I hate to be counterculture on this one, but I feel like it gets a lot of hate because Miley Cyrus was in it, not necessarily because the episode was terrible, even though it was not great by any means. But it's, in my opinion, certainly not the worst. It kind of lacked, it had a happy-ish ending, but it kind of lacked like the ending that leaves you, like a lot of episodes of Black Mirror, like, what the hell? Just what the fuck? It didn't give you that. So I think that's where it suffers somewhat in the rankings. I think some people are just hating on it because it starred Miley Cyrus, which, I get it. She has, I don't really know. I don't hate her. I really have no opinion over one way or another. Anywho, let's go on to another one that's not highly thought of, but also I feel like gets kind of an unfair rap. So my 22 episode is The Waldo Moment. This is ranked 24th on IMDb with a 6.6 average rating. This is season 2, episode 3. And look, this is a comedian. It's basically a story of a comedian who's forced to be political. I thought, this is not a new episode, so I kind of thought it was interesting because I feel like Joe Rogan, not the same kind of comedian, but he's a comedian who is really not by choice, kind of having to enter the political realm. I think that's kind of a thing, though, that comedians probably always have had to do, to kind of speak to the insanity of the world that they live in. So, not a terrible episode, but certainly not one that, like, if I'm recommending episodes to people, Waldo Moment's like, yeah, if you're watching all of them, watch it. Striking Vipers is my number 21 episode. Pretty in sync with the audience on this one, who rank at 22nd with a 6.9 rating. You know, again, it's a weird episode. I would say this: I would play more video games if you could do what they can do in this episode. But it's more like a weird concept than a great episode. It does have like one of the best lines ever. I'm probably gonna ruin it. I have a fly in my drink. That's not the line. The line in the episode is "I fucked a polar bear." So I'll leave that to your own imagination, I suppose, if you have not watched the episode. Moving on, it looks like I have another perfect match with IMDb on this one. Archangel. This one was episode 2 in season 4. It has a 7.3 rating on IMDb, and it is ranked 20th. All right, so this episode, like as a helicopter parent, I actually sympathized with the beginning of this episode, but I'll say it quickly turned. It's a thought-provoking episode as far as like technology, of course, like most of these episodes are. But yeah, yeah, it got dark. All right, next up on my list, number 19, and it's 18th in the fan or the IMDb ratings. That is Smithereens. This one is got a 7.5 rating on IMDb, 18th, so one spot off of where I have it. This one is the second episode in season 5. By the way, I think the United Kingdom's police may be worse than the police in America. Ooh. Anywho, I think this was maybe the first non-really sci-fi episode. It touches on social media. I think it has some interesting commentary. Topher Grace and whoever this guy is who played the lead in this movie, I think did a great job acting. But not the most fascinating episode. There's Topher Grace. It was a good episode. Again, we're into good episodes already at number 19, but it gets better. All right, here's where I go unpopular. My number 18 episode is San Junipero. This one is ranked 3rd on IMDb with an 8.6 rating. I don't know that I have a great defense for why everyone loves it and why I don't. Maybe I just don't relate to it. My notes were like, literally, I said, interesting concept. Interesting. My notes were interesting concept, just not great. Like it is an interesting concept. I thought the ending, the whole thing was like there were no. I didn't feel like there were a lot of consequences given the characters we were following in their real life. I don't know. And look, maybe I'm a terrible person because I just had a hard time relating to a couple old, very old lesbians who were on their deathbed. That makes me a bad person. So be it. I have this one ranked number 18. Again, good episode, worth watching. Just not my favorite. Again, not a bad episode. I'm not saying that. Just not my favorite episode. So hey, there's that. All right, my next episode, number 17, is 15 Million Merits. This is the second episode ever, season 1, episode 2. It is ranked 11th on IMDb, so a little bit higher than where I have it. My notes on this one, I just said, look, this is such an interesting dystopian nightmare, but also a commentary that matters. It's got some interesting commentary about celebrity, about just humanity in general, all that stuff. So it's a very good episode. I'm not trying to slight it by ranking it 17. I just find 16 episodes better personally. Again, 11th on the fans. So, all right, my next one, number 16, National Anthem. Now, this was the first episode. It's 1.1, season 1, episode 1. I have it 16th. IMDb with a 7.7 rating has it ranked 14th. It is it's good. It's a good episode. I will say this. It's a really rough one to start with. Like when you're trying to tell people to watch Black Mirror, this is a tough one. But it's fascinating. It's haunting. It's gross. It's disturbing. Really, what bothered me the most is how the prime minister's relationship with his wife played a part. There was a lot of mentions of YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Interesting. I don't think they really stayed in the Black Mirror universe, those social media companies by name. They did somewhat, but not completely. It's a rough one to start with, but a good one worth watching. Maybe, if you're watching them out of order, maybe don't start with that one, especially if, depending on your sensibilities. All right, my next one on the list, number 15, is Playtest. This is episode 2 in season 3. I have it 15th. The audience on IMDb has it 10th with an 8.1 rating. Solid. Look. All right, so Playtest, starring Wyatt Russell, as you saw there. Look, twists abound and make this a great ending, though very dark and very sad. During the rewatch, I remembered there were a lot of twists and like fake endings, and I still watching it questioned whether there were more to come until literally the credits rolls. I do think this suffers in my book because it's the most horror based of the episodes. Maybe Mazey Day, the bottom one on this list, counts as a horror episode too. But that's why it's a little lower on my list than probably other people's, because there's a lot of horror elements. I'm just not that into horror. Sorry, guys. I don't know what that makes me, but lesser than? I don't know. Anyways, great episode. Just not my cup of tea, yeah? All right, next up on the list, number 14 on my list is Men Against Fire. It is episode 5 in the 3rd season of Black Mirror. It's got a 7.5 rating and is 17th, just a little below where I have it, with the audience on IMDb. Look, this is a deeply disturbing episode for the technology concept that it introduces. So pretty much like every episode of Black Mirror, this one just seems extra poignant with me. It's Drunk Jeff Ranks, folks. For some reason, I'm trying not to spoil any of these episodes. I could do deep dives into any of these episodes if people want. Trying not to spoil them. I'm trying to give you a primer of where I rank them. And this one's pretty much smack dab in the middle at 14. And actually, it's exactly the middle. 13 above, 13 below. But again, I think if you watch this episode, the quality of it shows you if this is the middle episode. In my book, it's below that on IMDb just slightly. I think that tells you how quality of a program that we're getting to enjoy with Black Mirror. All right, next, number 13. Now I'm in the top half of episodes. This is episode 2 in this most recent season, season 6. I've got Loch Henry here, which is ranked 19th. One of my further actually away from the IMDb audience score. It is where I have Loch Henry here at 13th. And it's an outstanding episode. You guys give it a 7.4, you IMDb people. But look, and it does have a somewhat predictable twist in my eyes. But it's still great, still enjoyable. I'll also say this. I'll give the audience who put it in the bottom half of the episodes. I'll give it this. This one also not really sci-fi, more just, you know, fucked up people. I mean, I guess. So there is that. I'll give it that. There's an element of this isn't really necessarily sci-fi. So I have it. I have it there. You know, if you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments. You're allowed to comment and subscribe and do all of the other things with this episode because I'm a man of the people. All right. The next one on my list, number 12, is Beyond the Sea, which is the very next episode after Loch Henry, episode 3 in season 6. It is 15th in the IMDb fan ratings with a 7.6 rating. And it stars one of my favorite actors and one of the world's favorite actors, Aaron Paul, and Josh Hartnett in it as well. And I'll say this might have the darkest ending of the whole show, all Black Mirror. It's haunting. Can't get it out of my head. There's another scene in it. There's a scene in it that stars one of the Culkin brothers that I don't know their name. But yeah. Look, and people got on it for it dragging. Maybe it dragged a bit, but it was like not just the end of this episode, but maybe some other parts of it will haunt me maybe forever. Aaron Paul, awesome actor. He's America's actor. I have this one number 12 as we enter the top dozen. Number 11 on my list is not going to gain me a lot of fans because I think a lot of people like it a lot more. It's Nosedive, just outside of the top 10. I know some people are like, wait a second. I know some of the episodes you have ahead of this. What are you? I'm an idiot. This was the season 3 first episode. It is 8th on IMDb with an 8.3 rating, and it is a phenomenal show, a phenomenal episode of Black Mirror. Look, I cannot say enough. I love this episode of Black Mirror. So the question is, Jeffrey, if you love this episode, why is it 11? Because there are 10 episodes I enjoy more. That's all. It's about the social credit score. It does have an oddly, although not necessarily conclusive, but kind of an oddly happy ending, which usually, except for San Junipero, apparently, elevates you on this list. I again, I like it a lot. I can't say enough about the social commentary and the technological aspect of it, the cinematography. It's all fun. What she's doing in the mirror right now that you're watching, hilarious, cracks me up. But I have a 10th. All right, we're into the top 10. Wah, wah, wah. I don't know why I did that. Joan is off. This isn't my first drink, folks. Not even my second or my third. Joan Is Awful. This is the first episode of the most recent season, season 6. I rank it 10th. The audience on IMDb ranks it 16th with a 7.5. I just love it. It's got one of maybe the few happy endings. Again, I mentioned this very recently. The last one I talked about probably says more about me because I feel like this is the closest to a comedy of anything. But I enjoyed it. I loved the ending. I liked Joan Is Awful. I may have a little crush on Annie Murphy. I don't know. Anywho, that's besides the point. All right, number 9 on my list is Black Museum. This one was 4th on the IMDb list with an 8.6 rating. And look, it's good. I'm not arguing that. It's definitely a good episode starring Shuri Letitia Wright, I believe is her name. Should have looked that up before. And it almost felt like it was a finale for the show. Similar to another episode higher on the list, White Christmas, in combining several stories into one episode and then just forming a narrative from that, which I appreciate. It almost felt like a finale because this is definitely an episode I would not watch unless you've watched previous episodes, because there's a lot of callbacks. I do think in general, Black Mirror, you can watch kind of from nothing. You can start at any episode and enjoy it. But I think this one, you'll enjoy it a lot more if you've watched previous episodes. Even though, again, I do think the concepts in it are totally fine and totally work if you've never seen an episode of Black Mirror before. But I think this one in particular, you'll enjoy a lot more if you have seen prior episodes. Oh my God, I almost had a perfect match, but not. My number 8 episode is number 9 on IMDb. It's USS Callister, which is the first episode in the 4th season of season 4, which was obviously a good season because I've got 3 of their episodes in the top 9. So obviously it's a good season. But look, starring, Meth Damon, the incomparable Jesse Plemons. This is it's a good episode. All right, so USS Callister, obviously, as you can see by the poster, has a bit of a Star Trek feel. Jesse Plemons obviously is just outstanding and everything. It's a fun episode despite being really dark. It's got a weird happy ending. I gotta say, I'm not sure. I wrote down in my note here, Jesse Plemons puts on a masterclass of acting. I'm not really sure how the ending worked, but I don't need to understand everything. After all, All right, my number 7. We're in the top 7 here. This is ranked 5th amongst the audience on IMDb with an 8.5. Spectacular rating. I almost regret putting it as low as 7th. It's the entire history of you. And I feel like I'm going to have to explain myself because I have watched some videos ranking episodes, and a lot of them have this one number 1. And I don't disagree with them. I just put it 7th. This is episode 3 in the 1st season. It's such a devastating story about a tech that seems reasonably doable. Something, I don't know. It's heartbreaking. It's the grain. You can see your memories. It's heartbreaking. I don't want to spoil any part of it. This is just a tremendous episode. Probably should be higher on my list than 7th, to be quite honest. This is the one that I look at and I'm like, how stupid am I that I didn't rank this higher? As far as acting, emotion, this has some a scene or two that just deliver gut punches to you. But again, we're talking the cinema, like those are good gut punches. Like I don't know. It's a great episode. If it's in my top 7, it's outstanding. All right, continuing right here. First episode, season 2 is my number 6 episode. Be Right Back. And yeah, I chose that screenshot because Haley Atwell. I probably should stop looking at that while I'm on camera here. This episode is all over the place, but it's great. And I mean all over the place, like emotionally, highs and lows. It's amazing. And Haley Atwell is so hot. But it has a really weird view on like what AI is and what it will bring about. And season 2 of Black Mirror was like 2014, I want to say. Like this is like 9 years ago, and AI is kind of, I feel like, more of a recent not recent thing, but like more of a recent like hot button issue. So this episode I recommend everyone go and watch, because I'm just gonna go back and watch it again because I want to watch more of Haley Atwell. Yeah, I'm gross. I don't know, but um, it does have. There's a scene in this episode that is maybe the most heart wrenching scene in Black Mirror. And the dude who acts in it, who I should give a whole hell of a lot of credit to. Even though, obviously I'm only staring at Haley Atwell. I think it's Domhnall Gleeson, I believe is his name. I'm just trying to pronounce it while I'm looking at it on IMDb. Outstanding range of emotions in the scene that I'm talking about. It is. This is a great episode. Like again, I have it sixth, and at one point I had it second. Like I navigated this list quite a bit. So we're about to jump into the top 5, but I need to remove this from the screen. I need to piss and a refill, eh? I don't know what kind of accent that is, but Black Mirror, they got all kinds of accents. I need to piss on a refill, eh? We'll be right back. All right. We're into the top 5. Can you believe it? I sure can't. And definitely there are some of you sitting here thinking, how is he not named this episode? Because my top 5 are the 1, 2, 6, 7, and 13 episodes on IMDb. So my taste is not the same as everyone else's. It's okay, guys. Different strokes for different folks. My number 5 episode of Black Mirror is White Bear. This is ranked 13th. This is my second furthest rating away from the IMDb ratings. I have it way higher than 13th. It's at 8.0 on IMDb, which is a very solid score for a show or an episode. It is the second episode, as you can see on the poster, probably, of the second season of Black Mirror. And I understand why people maybe don't find it as high as I do. I do think this is one of those episodes in the rewatch that I kind of knew where this was going. So it made it enjoyable and a oddly happy ending. It is kind of dark and hard to watch, I think, for the first time, but the second time, again, I think it was like 9 years after I watched it for the first time, I remembered and I was like, I like this. So that probably spoils a lot of the episode, frankly. But anywho, it's it's dark. It is satisfying. Again, I have it 5th. The rest of people who use IMDb have it 13th. All right, my number 4 episode. You can see it already. I don't know why I'm acting mysterious about it. It's Shut Up and Dance. It is the 3rd episode in the 3rd season. IMDb users have it ranked 7th with an 8.4. Solid. This is maybe the hardest episode at times to stomach. I'll say this, when I rewatched it, I remembered the twist ending. And again, kind of a little bit like White Bear, but in a very different way method, I would say. It was like, things worked out the way they should have. It is a dark episode with a dark ending, and I love it so much because it's like, I don't mind dark endings, but like if they're not nightmare fuel, like, things that you're seeing the ending on the screen right now. Uh, but if it's not nightmare fuel, like I love dark endings, and this is not nightmare fuel because this is not a situation I would ever be in. Watch this episode. Shut up and dance. It's Black Mirror at its in my opinion, obviously at its fourth best, but it's close to its best. All right, we're getting into the nitty gritty here. Was that English? I don't know. We're getting into the top three, and number three is Hated in the Nation. IMDb users put this one sixth with an 8.5. Obviously, that is a tremendous rating. I have a third. This one, I'll be honest, this one's more like a feature-length film, I would say, than an episode of a television show. Like, in general, I would say the length, the plot, all of it could easily have made itself a TV show as easily as sorry, I was distracted by the Black Mirror graphics. A movie as easily as a television show. It's a great ooh, it's a great episode. Look, it dives into social media. Also, some scary technology aspects that are maybe I don't know if they're as far fetched as maybe it seemed. I really don't want. Sorry, I got the hiccups. I really don't want to spoil any part of it. Although I'm spoiling a lot of it by what's playing in the trailer of the episode. So oopsie. Look, it's a great episode. I have it number three, and I'm gonna be quite honest, I'm a loser because now, and that's Wong, by the way, from Marvel. Now I'm gonna dive into my top two, and they exactly match IMDb's top two. Sorry, I didn't like this was not the intent. Number two on my list is Hang the DJ. I love this episode. I'm probably going to watch it again soon. So here's it's an amazing future love story, I feel like. It's one of the best episodes, and it's got again, I don't want to give away the ending, but it makes you feel good, or made me feel good. Even though it was a long road to get there. So I love this episode. It is ranked 7th amongst the audience of IMDb as well with an 8.7. Very high. Second in my heart, and second with the IMDb ratings. And look, I want to make this clear. I did not correlate my ratings to IMDb until after I rated them. This was not like a where do they have it? I want to make sure I match it kind of thing. It was not at all in any way, shape, or form. It was legitimately the way these rankings were legitimately the way that I felt that they should go. So anyone who's watched Black Mirror already knows what my number one episode is. And it's not that creative. It's White Christmas. And it's not only because John Hamm was in this, although John Hamm being in it, I mean, that makes everything like 18 times better, doesn't it? But this is the episode. This is episode 4 of season 2. Now, it was a special Christmas episode of Black Mirror that just kind of got looped into season 2. So it's not necessarily part of like Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror season 2, but it is, as far as Netflix go, the last episode of season 2. This episode, again, it was a Christmas special. So again, it's close to a movie length. I think it's like an hour and 15 minutes. And it has 3 different stories inside of it, but like more than that, layers to it. It's a freaking roller coaster of thoughts and emotions. John Hamm, of course, is brilliant. All of the actors are top notch. Really, in Black Mirror, it's one series where you're never like, oh, this is bad acting. It's always great, whether it's John Hamm or Aaron Paul or Haley Atwell. By the way, if anyone thinks Haley Atwell might be interested in a chubby guy from Florida, send her my way, please. Look, this is just, I don't, it's first on IMDb, as I mentioned. My number 1 and number 2 match IMDb ratings. And I think they do that for a reason. The ending of this is haunting for so many reasons. The last 5 minutes, I want to say, of this episode will live in my head forever and ever. And I watched this one again. And again, I actually showed my kids this episode. Maybe I would say easily 13 plus can handle this. From, again, there's a lot of technology introduced in this episode that's kind of used in future episodes for granted. So I would recommend watch this episode. I would say you can even start the show with this episode, and you will. If you don't like this episode, I don't know how you can like the rest of the show. It is just so good. So good. White Christmas, my number 1. I don't like what I'm showing on the screen right now because I feel like it gives away too much. So number 1 episode on in Black Mirror is White Christmas. So there you go. Number 1 to number 27. I guess I'll read them back one more time. Number 1, White Christmas. Number 2, Hang the DJ. Number 3, Hated in the Nation. I'm not going to keep these fingers going. Number 4, Shut Up and Dance. Number 5, White Bear. Number 6, Be Right Back. And if anyone wants to hook me up with Haley Atwell, I don't know if she's single, but she can get divorced. Number 7, The Entire History of You. Number 8, why did I make myself full screen? I look so much smaller on a tiny screen. Number 8, USS Callister. Number 9, Black Museum. Number 10, the highest ranked, in my opinion, it's probably controversial, of the newest season, is Joan Is Awful. Number 11, Nosedive. Number 12, Beyond the Sea, which I hate that I ranked it that low, but still higher than IMDb. Number 13, Loch Henry. Number 14, Men Against Fire. Number 15, Playtest. Number 16, the pilot episode, National Anthem. Number 17, the second episode, 15 Million Merits. Number 18, the one I disagreed most with the audience, San Junipero. Number 19, Smithereens. Number 20, Archangel. Number 21, Striking Vipers. Number 22, the Waldo Movement. Nope. The Waldo Moment. Get through it, Jeffrey. You can do it. Number 23, Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2. Number 24, Demon 79. Number 25, Metalhead. Number 26, Crocodile. And last and least, Mazey Day. Number 27. Again, I did not include Bandersnatch in this. I'm probably going to go play Bandersnatch right now. I don't know if play Bandersnatch is the right, but it's a choose your own adventure episode. So, can't stream it on Chromecast, but you can play it on PlayStation if you get your Netflix hooked up to it. I don't even know if I'm speaking English at this point, so I'm going to sign off. If you've watched this far, thank you so much. You should definitely subscribe to the channel, please, and like the video and comment. Tell me why I'm an idiot, because, well, I definitely am, but tell me why. And it could be because I'm keep talking about Haley Atwell, but God, she's hot. And if you like these rankings, tell me if you'd like me to do another show or I don't know, rank other things, because this is the second episode that I've actually put out of Drunk Jeff Ranks, and I don't have anything better to say. So, peace out.